Hey everybody, Mike Reinold here from MikeReinold.com. I'm actually at the APTA's Combined Sections meeting in New Orleans right now. And I got to spend a bunch of great time with my good friend Russ Paine. Russ actually was inducted into the Sports Physical Therapy Hall of Fame last night, so
yeah,
congratulations,
baby.
Russ. So,
thanks, Mike.
Russ, one of the legends of sports physical therapy. Obviously, I've learned a ton from him over the years. But one of the things, Russ and I, we've talked about this for probably over a decade now.
Years.
How we've always been a big fan of using neuromuscular stimulation and biofeedback after people have any type of injuries, right? Not just lower extremity, but also upper extremity everywhere. We're a big fan of using those types of things, but over the last decade or so, biofeedback itself it's just kind of gone away, right? So like when earlier in my career and in Russ's career, we used biofeedback quite a bit to be able to see the amount of muscle activity that's happening during activities, which we found really impactful. But so luckily Russ was kind of sick of it, I guess, sick of not having a good biofeedback unit, and he actually designed his own. He just came up with this new product. It's called the mTrigger, and I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's a great little product. So Russ, tell us about the mTrigger.
Just a little history about what goes on with biofeedback and muscle stim. The reason there's not biofeedback units is they were not a rental reimbursable product.
Crazy. So not even like a good clinical reason.
Yeah, so there's some financial reasons why biofeedback is not clinically a problem.
Right.
But there was tons of money that was put forth to, verify the results of electrical muscle stim. But biofeedback, because it was not used properly way back in the 70s, there's no CPT code for it, no billing code for it. So I have been using biofeedback for 20 to 25 years, and I don't use muscle stim very much because I've found that my patients, and I do, my whole career is mostly ACL and shoulder patients, do better with volitional contractions. So when you put someone on muscle stim, used effectively and appropriately, it can be a good tool, but how much of it is you? How much of it is a stim unit?
Right.
And there's this other thing called order of recruitment. So when you do a volitional contraction, you start with the slow twitch muscle fibers and build up to the fast twitch. And that's how you get rid of atrophy. With muscle stim, muscle stim stimulates all of those at once.
Wow.
So anyway,
right.
And when a patient can see the level of contraction they have to put forth, they can't check their phone or read a magazine or watch TV. They actually have to work.
It's pretty good. So it's intent. I like that. I mean, think about it. Anytime we have an injury, we know pain, inflammation, swelling, post-op, or even just injury has a reciprocal inhibition of your ability to actively control your muscle groups around the joint. So you've seen it after ACLs, total knee replacements. They just can't activate their quads. They have quad lag. They're walking around with the quad avoidance gait. It's just it's terrible. So
what happened was there's not. It's really hard to find a biofeedback in the U.S. now. You can buy them from the UK.
Right, and they're pricey though.
Yeah, and besides that, you just can't find one. So I had an idea about 3 years ago is why don't we figure out a way to allow people to use their smartphone and integrate that with biofeedback. Ideas are great, but we've got to practically put them together. So I partnered with my friend Brian Pryor, Like Your Laser, and it's been about a 2.5 to 3 year process. But now patients can download the app on their phone. They will use an amplifier that's connected by Bluetooth, and you can see the muscle work. And there's something about your phone. Your phone is like your fifth appendage.
Right.
So when you see something happening on your phone, it lights up the patient's, intensity of contraction, and everything else is compliant.
Sure. So show us it a little bit here.
So what we can do is, it's a really simple product. This is on an app. You can download it on your phone, and this will connect with any phone. So you can have one in your clinic that you can use on any patient that comes in. So they just connect this via Bluetooth to your phone or your app, and you can adjust this threshold of sensitivity. So tighten your muscle up, squeeze really hard. You see she's got a really good contraction. Now relax it, and we set the on and off time to 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and we cycle that back and forth over a 10-minute period. Tighten up again, squeeze hard. Now we're going to make it harder, and she's got to make a little bit harder contraction. Becca, to keep that up there. Now squeeze hard. Come on, pull hard. Hard. So that's her threshold.
And she can see the color, and if it's yellow, you say squeeze more. And
so
she's definitely going to try harder.
Hit the play button here, and it says relax. Just hold it there for a second, you can see it. and then it'll say flex in a second, and then she'll flex.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Squeeze hard now.
Oh, sorry.
Force the back of your knee straight and keep that light full. Keep it full all the way, pull hard. So it, it helps with quad re-education. In this case, it helps with extension also.
No doubt, she just had 20 degrees of Rika bottom there.
Exactly. So then the other thing we can do with this is we can play a game. So we're going to adjust this to make it a little bit easier to play the game. So the game is something that everyone enjoys. So we've got a little bicycle. This is our first game that we've developed. And so squeeze your muscle. Okay, so you get the bike to go up in the air. Hold it there. All right, so you're fixing to go up the ramp. Tip it up so the cameras can see it there. Squeeze hard. You got to keep it up there to catch all the stars.
So she's keeping her quad
She's keeping her quad. Now relax it a second. And so you can go back down and squeeze hard, hard, and rest. Okay, so our patients love this. They're extremely compliant. It helps with muscle re-education, and not only for rehab, but I've got some strength and conditioning people that are coming in that are really interested in this too.
That's pretty neat.
It's great for core strengthening. You put on the abs, and you try to brace with core strengthening. Well, you can actually see how well a job you're doing with that type of activity.
And it's 2 channels too, right?
Yes, 2 channels. So this is a 2-channel biofeedback, and we actually have a neuromuscular deficit test that you can perform.
So it also gives you some quantified data.
Exactly.
So it's objective too.
So that's
pretty cool.
That's the only thing that I know of out there that objectifies neuromuscular deficit.
Right. So man, you're doing a strength test with somebody. You can have this on their muscle groups, and you can almost quantify exactly.
And we do it in the
what's
post-op clinic. I work with Dr. Lowe in Houston every
great.
Tuesday morning. We do our recheck thing.
Right.
And so our next step is to figure out how does that strength deficit on the Biodex correlate with our neuromuscular deficit.
Right.
So some people are a year post-op and they still have atrophy. Well, maybe they have not learned to recruit their motor units and completely, complete the process of branching all the roots out from the tree.
That's super interesting.
So that's another.
And think about it, guys, with 2 channels, this is the part that I love, with 2 channels, you can do things like you can put it on the core during some of our functional core stuff. You can put some pads on your rectus and some on your obliques. You have all those people that are so anterior dominant, right? And they're not getting a good contraction all around. Or how about in a bird dog position, you want to activate more glute and less low back, right? So you can put some on the hip, you can put some on the low back and say, hey, make the left side go up and the right side stay down. I mean, that's super cool, Russ.
And the other thing we can do is track your session. So this tracks, the amount of work, so to say, in electrical activity done over a 10-minute period. So you can track the progress of your patient to see, how they're improving. And patients love this because they'll come in and they'll make a contraction, go ahead and make a muscle back up. She says, oh, I'm at 1900. I started out at 200.
That's awesome.
So I'm making progress.
Right. And you can document that. You can put that in your notes. You can show that to an insurance company. You can show that to a doctor to return to play. So that's super interesting. So you guys can tell, look, I don't do a lot of just product stuff like this, but when something like this is super affordable but highly impactful, and this is something that Russ and we've been begging for this for years, because this is exactly how we treat. This is what we do clinically with stuff. We love it. So I'll put some links down below. You guys can check that out. Get more information on this mTrigger device and learn more about it. But thank you so much, Russ. Thanks, Becca. Appreciate it for everything.
Thanks,
awesome.
Appreciate it.